Good evening. This is Sri Primo with a quick recap of the fourth round of the Wimbledon tournament. And yesterday we had Alcaraz, winning the match against Rublev. But today there were some very exciting matches. There was some matches that ended up in a very sad way. We'll get to that match in the final, which is the Sinner and Dimitrov match. But quickly going down, let's start with the women this time. And you had uh, multiple Grand Slam winner in Iga Swiatek beating Towson pretty easily in straight sets. Um, she had a good thing, I think, good for her confidence after the loss last in French Open. She's trying to find her form. She's found the rhythm. She's played much better in the Wimbledon tournament than what she was playing over the course of this year. So right now she moves on to the quarterfinals. And then you had the other players include Benchik, who had a very great win. I mean, she's another player who was coming out of after injury and after being a mom, and then she's playing phenomenal right now. And she's found her form as well as like Iga, and she breezes on to the quarterfinals. The other victors include the 18-year-old Andreeva, Mira Andreeva, who has played against Navarro. She was just with Roger Federer in the stands watching her play. She was just incredible against Navarro. She didn't give Navarro has actually been playing really well over the course of this Wimbledon, but Andrew was just taking it to another level. She was like ranked number 6 in the French Open. She was ranked number 7 in the Wimbledon, and she put on quite a clinic. And her serve, I think, as she mentioned in the post game, was on point, and she didn't miss much of that. And it was a comical end to the match where she was up, and then um, uh, Navarro put the ball into the net, and Andreeva thought she was moving on to the next point, and she didn't even hear the referee call out game, set, and match. But she had to be reminded, and it was a very comical moment. But kind of shows you how innocent and how young she is, um, and really good to have like Roger. She did mention that she was very nervous playing in front of Roger, so kudos to her for moving on, and she could be another superstar in the making. And hopefully, maybe she can win her first major this time. Um, and then you also had Samsonova win as well. In the men's, you had the American Ben Shelton. What a great victory for him. Comes back and wins that game against Sonego. And excellent playing by Shelton. His serve, I mean, that's one thing he's going to need a lot against Sinner, but he was just incredible all the way, and he won in 4 sets. But it's a young, I think he's probably one of the youngest Americans in many many years to go to the quarterfinals in the Wimbledon. Good for him. I think he's played really well. He lost to Alcaraz in the French Open, and he's now going to have to beat Sinner to move on to his first semifinal in Wimbledon. Coming to Djokovic, Djokovic played against Alex de Minaur. De Minaur was somebody, who's in the top 8, very good player, young player, had a lot of great points in the first set and dismissed Djokovic out of the court at 6-1. It was quite breezy, as Djokovic mentioned, but de Minaur was able to adjust much better than Djokovic was. And he took the first set at 6-1, but then Djokovic was down. Won the second set. And then even in the second set, Djokovic did say that he was trying to find his rhythm. He was trying to figure out his de Minaur's game, but then Djokovic came out victorious in the second. But then what happened was like after winning the next 2 sets, in the fourth set, uh, de Minaur was actually up 4-1, and it seemed that he was going to go up to 5-1, but what an incredible player Djokovic is. Maintains his composure, comes back and able to rattle off 5 straight games, which is almost totally unbelievable to see that against a top class player in de Minaur, and winning it at 6-4 and moving on to the um, semifinal. And who does he play? He plays Kaboli, who had a great win himself. So Kaboli victorious as well, and he moves on to play against Djokovic. And then coming back to the last match, it was a Sinner and Dimitrov. Baby Fed, as Dimitrov was once being called, was playing at a very high level. I got to watch some of the highlights, but he was clearly a better player than Sinner. He gave us still a lot of problems, especially serving out wide and then making sure that coming and finishing off points early, didn't get into much rallies as well. And Sinner didn't have any answers for him. And quickly he went up and he broke Sinner in the second game as well, second set as well, took on the lead. And then Dimitrov were gotten broken by Sinner at 5-all, and then went back and forth. And then he broke Sinner back again. And then Dimitrov served for that. And when a Sinner forehand, I think it was a backhand that went wide, Dimitrov's won two sets. And in the third set, they battled for quite a long time for the first two when it was 2-all. And at that time, I think McEnroe mentioned it during the highlights as well. I don't know if he pulled something on his right uh, shoulder, arm. Uh, you definitely could see some pain in Dimitrov. I think Djokovic did say that it happened in the volley before he had at 40-15. But then he won that game to even the score at 2-all. But right after that, he clutched his right shoulder and went down. Sinner was quite gracious to come in and check on him. But then he went back, sought a medical timeout. But then when he came back, he just called it quits. This is the fifth time he is now, withdrawn from a Grand Slam. So it's really sad to see for a player of his caliber, someone who's was heralded as if one of the future stars, but always was, in the top player. But really sad for him. Sinner did mention that even in the post game, as well as even in the on-court interview, that this didn't feel like a win. Well, again, he can take the win. He's now in the quarterfinals. He moves on to play Shelton, and you have Djokovic playing on against Koboli. And then tomorrow we have some very good matches as well. You got Taylor Fritz on tap. You got Sabalenka on tap. So a lot of good matches tomorrow that you're going to see in both the men's and women's. So with that, sad day, sad ending for Dimitrov. Djokovic playing as good as he can to get to the number 25, and Sinner, considers him consider him lucky. But hey, that's how things go sometimes, and you sometimes you need some breaks, and that's what he got. So with that, wrap up the recap. Thanks again for listening.